What's up, Frenzonis and Steelers? Nope, Steelers and Frenzonis. Thanks for tuning back into another Keeping It Real with Danie Steele. So let's talk about gaining weight during marriage. This is something that I've been faced with myself. And you know what? I'm not in my 50s. I haven't had one child, let alone, 2 or 3. Is it our responsibility as women to maintain our weight during marriage? Here's what I think. 2 parts. You're responsible for your own joy. I've had to learn that the hard way. But you are responsible for your own joy. So even if you're in a marriage and you're looking at this person for help and support, etc., whatever, at the end of the day, just like Oprah always says, you are responsible for your own joy. If being fit and being in shape brings you joy, you're responsible for accessing that joy, right? Do I think it's a woman's responsibility to stay fit during a marriage? I think it's a woman's responsibility to stay fit if that's something that is important to her. I don't think that anyone owes anyone to be fit or super in shape, because let's not pretend that the conversation isn't about being super fit. We're talking about someone who was in top prime shape of their lives, right? Like most people will never look like she did and waiting to exhale. At the end of the day, let's be honest about the situation. People want to say obese or morbidly obese, but people don't really understand those numbers and what that means. It's very easy for most people that are overweight to classify as morbidly obese. It's very easy to be morbidly obese. It's very easy to be overweight. That's easy. Very easy. You get there very quick. Most people, just take a look at yourself. Do you have a flat stomach? Do you have a 6-pack? Do you have ripped arms? It's very easy to be overweight. It's very easy to go from overweight to obese. And it's very easy to go from overweight to obese to morbidly obese. And people don't really understand how quickly we get to those numbers. I would say the average person that is 25, 30, 35 pounds overweight could have a BMI that registers as obese to morbidly obese. What we're saying to women is you have to be super fit. And if you're not super fit, then a man can't be responsible for what he does, right? I think as long as you're healthy and taking care of yourself and you're not on my 600-pound life, I think you might be, you're on the right track, okay? That's just what I think. The second part of it being what people agree to in a marriage. I hate to be one of those people that's like, if you're not married, you wouldn't know. But you don't know, even if you are married, what people agree to in their individual marriages. Do women owe it to their husbands to be super fit in marriage all the time? Well, we don't know what people talk about in a marriage. What I do know is that if you have a partner who was very fit and very in shape when you met them, and then, all of a sudden, maybe not even all of a sudden, but there's an increase in their weight, having a weight gain, right? Wouldn't you be concerned? I would think concern would be at the forefront. Not expectation or judgment, but concern. So this is a general topic for marriage, just marriage in general. If you're seeing your partner going through something, how important is it to you to make sure that they're okay? So I think that would be the number one concern. Again, not expectation of what they look like. This is if you have exchanged vows and made commitment to one another. Like I said, you don't know what goes on in a marriage. People can agree or disagree that, we're gonna do this way. I want to be heavy. I want to eat. I want to, have fun. So you go have your fun. right? You just never know what people have agreed to in a marriage or in a relationship. So, those two things being said, I feel like Ken, 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 can you please fix this lighting? Fix this lighting for me. I need help. I've been screaming your name.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the bathroom.
So those two things considered in mind, I feel like our responsibility to our partners lies in the conversations we have with one another and the responsibility that we have to ourselves to be whoever the person is that we want to be. But a woman doesn't owe a man any more than he owes her. So a guy could say, well, I'm fit, you need to be fit. But a woman could say, I'm loving, you know, I clean. You need to clean. He's not going to clean. It's not tit for tat. It's not, well, I give love and I clean and I cook. So, you know, if you're fit and you have more money, it shouldn't be a tit for tat, no matter what. Bottom line, end of the day, right? It needs to be about the conversations we have with one another, the commitment we make to each other, and the commitment we make to ourselves. I would suggest to anyone in a relationship, whether it's marriage or you're just dating, that you always stay focused on yourself and what you're building and don't get lost in the relationship, which I know can be very difficult, especially when you're in love with someone, when you love someone. But it's never a good idea to get lost in a relationship, because unless you explicitly have a conversation with someone where you're saying, hey, I just want to let you know, I've pretty much dropped everything else in my life, my friends, my work, right? Because I'm kind of obsessed with you, right? And they say ditto, likewise, right? Unless that happens, you could be very well playing yourself, being obsessed in a relationship and so focused on someone. So focus on yourself and focus on the reason why the two of you connected and got together. The person is probably interested in you because when they met you, you were focused on yourself and doing positive things to make yourself a better person. So focus on that. Weight gain is not an excuse to betray your partner. Obviously. At the same time, if you're with someone, and whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's food, whether it's sex, and they're basically overindulging themselves, you don't owe anyone to stay with them and they're just out of control and wild and crazy and bringing chaos into your life. No, you don't. I don't believe in that. So like I said, this is a broad subject. It has, inspired by recent events and, current events, but it's something that people really need to take into consideration. What are our expectations of ourselves and of our partners and of our relationships? Thanks so much for tuning in. I will see you guys very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. Are you married? Are you in a long-term relationship? Do you know what this is like? Have you never been in a relationship and you feel like, hey, I haven't even been in a relationship, but I know what I will and won't tolerate and put up with, right? Let me tell you something. I've been there, but at the end of the day, it takes being in a relationship to really understand more about yourself and what you demand in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? All right. All right, guys. So good seeing you. I'll see you soon. Bye. Wink.